2 minutes away from the end of the trading day on this Tuesday. Scarlet Fu and Isabelle Lee here, and helping us take you through the closing bell, we've got a global simulcast. We're joined now by Massar and Joe Deaux, in for Tim Stenovic, bringing together our Bloomberg Television, radio, and YouTube audiences worldwide to parse through the most crucial moments of the trading day. And Carol, it feels very similar to yesterday. Yields elevated, grinding higher. Equities this time down once again, but semiconductor stocks have turned around. They are now lower.
I mean, very much so. And I feel like, once again, Joe and I spent some time talking along about what we're seeing globally, these long-term debt costs soaring to the highest in decades as we've seen bond prices slumping. But it's not just a U.S. thing, Joe. It is a global thing.
It is a global thing, and it is inescapable. No matter how much you want to avoid AI, it is going to find you. And that's what we're seeing in today's trade for sure.
I like what Scarlett told our guest earlier. Are we just marking time, or is the market just in a holding pattern? Because there are so many that are up and coming, from NVIDIA earnings to the Fed minutes tomorrow. But Scarlett also pointed out what Ed Yardeni said, which is we aren't pushing the panic button just yet, but definitely something to keep a close eye on.
Yeah, the bond vigilantes are kind of just there waiting to pounce if and when they see the signal. All right, so as we get closer to the closing bell, no real surprise then that volume has dropped off as well. It is the middle of August. We've got a late Labor Day. Things are slowing down, and as Isabelle pointed out, we're waiting for a couple of different catalysts, but we're not quite there yet. I guess NVIDIA's results will be the next big one for those looking at earnings, because the retailer earnings don't move the market in quite the same way that a big cap chip maker does. All right, there you have the closing bells. Let's run through the numbers right now. You have the S&P 500 closing down about 0.75%. The Dow Industrial is holding up a bit better, lower by 0.25%. And the Nasdaq Composite Index down 1 1/3%, dragged lower by those chip makers. And it's small caps as well. They are showing weakness, with the Russell 2000 closing lower by 1.3%, Carol.
All right, that's a look at the major equity averages. Thank you, Scarlett. I'm going to go back to the S&P 500. It's a reminder that not everything was down, almost an even split here, Isabelle. 226 names in the S&P 500 higher for the Tuesday trade, 273 to the downside, 4 unchanged.
I like that even split. So let's now take a look at the IMAP. It's looking a bit more red because we have tech losing there by more than 1%. Some green shoots you're seeing, consumer staples and energy, to no surprise, but the rest are in the negative territory.
All right, guys, let's go to some of the individual gainers, if I may. Amylyx Pharmaceuticals definitely caught my attention. Ticker AMLX. Shares climbing a record 53% intraday, actually even more, because the stock up almost 64% here at the close. So quite a move. The drug developer said a late-stage trial of its experimental drug met its primary endpoint as a treatment for patients who experience dangerously low blood sugar levels following bariatric surgery. So a kick to the upside in a big way. Keep in mind, the stock is up more than 160% year to date. About 13% of the float is short, but nonetheless, definitely a major bullish move in the Tuesday trade. Let's go on over to Targa Resources and ExxonMobil. Targa is the number one gainer, in the S&P 500. That stock is up more than 7%. You saw ExxonMobil also up about 2.6%. Targa up after the energy company signed a new 20-year fee-based integrated midstream agreement with ExxonMobil subsidiaries covering gathering, processing, NGL transportation, and fractionation across the Permian Basin through 2046. So talk about some visibility in a long-term contract. Targa, by the way, is up more than 60% year-to-date. ExxonMobil, not too shabby. Those energy names continuing to outperform this year. That one is up about 36% year-to-date. And then, courtesy of Tim, not here this week, Joe in, and we've been so happy to have you here. But Tim loves Duolingo, so I had to bring this one up.
Shout out to Tim.
Yeah, exactly. Stock rallying more than 7%. D.A. Davidson upgrading the language learning platform to buy from neutral, citing a turning point in acceleration of daily active user metrics. So price target set at $160 a share. Stock closed just below $140 a share. So you're looking at more than 20% upside, at least that from the closing price before this call. So yeah, outperformer. Joe, all yours.
I've got decliners. I'm the downer for today. Klarna, the payments firm, fell by more than 20% after cutting its revenue expectations for the year amid foreign exchange pressures and weaker consumer spending in Germany, marking one of its biggest declines since going public last year. The company did also announce it's seeking a new CFO to be based here in New York, and that its chief marketing officer is stepping down after 9 years at the company. Citizens analysts wrote in a note to clients that, quote, the executive departures alongside the lowered second half guidance are driving more uncertainty around the outlook of the business in the coming quarters for investors. I'm also looking at Meta shares, which fell Tuesday as Facebook parent heads to court for a landmark social media trial. This stock is down over the last 3 trading sessions, and it has erased more than about $100 billion in market value. Listen, the showdown involves a coalition of state attorneys general claiming that the company deliberately designed Facebook and Instagram to encourage compulsive use among young users. And Forrester's principal analyst wrote, and this one's interesting, this trial is potentially the end of social media as we know it.
Wow. That's a big statement.
That's a big statement. We'll see.
Yeah.
And Caterpillar, one of my favorites. I covered that for a number of years. It was the biggest decliner.
You have a soft spot for Caterpillar, don't you?
I love construction and machinery. Biggest decliner in the Dow Jones. The blue chip company is known for its iconic yellow diggers and bulldozers, although it's enjoyed unprecedented growth the last few years because of the AI trade, guys. Investors have boosted the stock as companies go after building more data centers, and they purchase Caterpillar's power generation equipment. And the stock's getting hit today just with the rest of the chips. So guess what? Caterpillar doesn't always just trade as a construction company.
Yeah, it's an AI adjacent trade as well. All right, let's take a look at the bond market because the focus, of course, is on the sell-off in bonds. It's halted for now in that yields are slightly lower, but they're elevated. Certainly looking at the 30-year yield, 5.28%, still sitting near the high since 2007. But you could see that yields have come down a little bit across the curve there.
All right, guys, so there's the Kirkland food brand, there's gas, there's all these good things.
There's Costco vacations.
I had no idea that they were doing this. There's so much stuff that they sell. I have never been in a Costco. I'm just going to tell you.
Wait, Carol, you
I have never been. Oh my gosh, Carol, you and me. I've never been to one either.
I've never been. I've been dying to go. It just hasn't been one nearby. And this, I know, I feel like my life is not fulfilled and complete until I go into a Costco.
Scarlet
Having said that, check this out. They're now looking, according to the Wall Street Journal, Scarlet, to get into Medicare plans.
Costco gets into everything. I mean, they're going to do this with a limited rollout of Costco-branded Medicare plans in partnership with this nonprofit insurer called Scan Group. And they're only going to start in a couple of states and do this, in small doses. But it just goes to show that Costco has these members who paid a membership fee, and they are very, very loyal customers, and they trust Costco to take care of all these different services, not just basically curate the products that they do buy. Joe is nodding vigorously. Joe, you're a Costco shopper?
Are you a Costco? You must be.
Yes, and I just want my hot dog, okay?
I see. Yes, Carol and I need to go on a field trip. Scarlett needs to take us. Maybe Joe can tag along. I asked Scarlett, what is the significance of this? And she said, no, this is a big deal. All I know is when Costco, when they were selling gold bars, that was what caught me.
They sell diamond earrings. They sell everything.
I would love that.
No stone left unturned with Costco. It's incredible,
nice
guys.
Nice one, Joe.
I'm excited, and I think it really says a lot about what Costco sees as something that it can disrupt, that it can, bring better practices to. Because Costco prides itself on its ability to vet everything, and it really limits what it sells in its warehouses. This is for Isabelle and Carol, who have not gone to a Costco. Like, you go in there, and there's like maybe 3 different kinds of soap, as opposed to 5 different kinds of soap, or 15 different kinds of soap.
I have to tell
You're a great ambassador, Scarlett.
I know you and Lisa Mateo, man. She too in the hot dogs. No, my family would come in with something, and I'd be like, "Oh my God!" Like my sister or something. I'm like, "Where'd you get that?" And they're like, "Costco," and they would end up buying it for me. They were like my mules, my Costco
I need a mule.
mules. Oh. Is that crazy? That is crazy. My understanding, though, the new Medicare products will not come with a Costco membership thrown in. Not allowed under federal rules. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You start talking Medicare, and there are some rules.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Yes, Isabelle, you and I, Joe and Scarlett are going to take us a
field trip.
A little field trip.
I will join Carol's family group chat so I can also ask them to buy my products.
They do. Wine. They're always like, look what I got.